And now moving to the war in Europe, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of deceiving President Donald Trump. This after Vladimir Putin announced a surprise ceasefire for 3 days from May 8th to May 10th. The dates would coincide with Putin's lavish celebrations to mark the victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. Now, during his evening address on Monday, President Zelensky said Russia's offer of a temporary truce is just another attempt to manipulate the world.
As early as March 11th, we responded positively to the American proposal for a complete ceasefire. We also made our own proposal bilaterally to Russia to halt strikes at least on civilian targets, at the very least on them. We also proposed to establish a complete ceasefire and extend it for 30 days over Easter. Russia has consistently rejected all of this and manipulated the world, trying to deceive the United States.
The Ukrainian leader once again called for an immediate ceasefire for at least 30 days.
The fire must be stopped not just for a few days, only to resume killing afterward. An immediate, complete, and unconditional ceasefire, for at least 30 days to ensure it is guaranteed and reliable, is what can provide the foundation for real diplomacy.
President Zelensky's comments come at a time when President Trump has upped his criticism on Putin. In fact, on Sunday, President Trump said he was very disappointed with Russian strikes targeting civilian areas in Ukraine. And the remarks came soon after meeting President Zelensky at Pope Francis' funeral at the Vatican.
I think the meeting went well. We'll see what happens over the next few days. We'll probably learn a lot. I was very disappointed that missiles were flying by Russia, but that missiles were flying. Very disappointing. We'll see how it goes.
President Trump has also stepped up his pressure on Putin and asked him to stop shooting and sign a ceasefire agreement. However, he believed President Zelensky was ready to give up Crimea to Russia as negotiations entered what Washington calls a critical week on Monday. Now, the White House has said that without significant progress, President Trump could very well abandon the negotiations altogether. The White House has also indicated giving the peace talks a deadline of just 2 weeks. But as President Trump's frustration with both Putin and Zelensky grows, the war still rages on. In fact, on Tuesday, both sides fired dozens of drones at each other, killing a child in Ukraine and 2 people in Russia. And with the fighting continuing, all eyes are now on President Trump, who is yet to reveal the details of his peace plan to end the 3-year-long deadly war.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.